Ladon, Bahamas, splendid morning. Of course, we are reporting your initial traffic report from University Drive. This is between the main campus of the University of the Bahamas and the Bishop Michael H. Alden building. This morning, you can see right behind me a median, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that this morning. But before we get into that, I have with me Sergeant Cressinia Johnson from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, giving you an initial look at overnight traffic. Good morning, Officer Johnson.
A pleasant good morning to you and a pleasant good morning, Bahamas. Well, overnight, we had 25 accidents involving damages, 6 accidents involving minor injury, and 1 hit-and-run accident. At present, we have 13 persons who are still hospitalized as a result of being involved in a traffic accident.
Well, of course, that's your initial traffic report. As you can see right behind me, traffic is building in this area. It tends to increase throughout the day. We know this is one of those heavy traffic areas. Over the last few weeks, this median has been installed. I was doing a little research last year around January. There was an accident, a pedestrian hit, unfortunately, by a Suzuki vehicle. And over the course of the following months, officials here at the university have worked diligently to really get this median installed. You have some details on that?
Yes. In this area, as you can see behind us, we have increased signage, increased street markings, increased infrastructure. All of this is an aid to help drivers understand that this area is a high pedestrian traffic area. And as it relates to the University of the Bahamas, they have been instrumental in doing research, and they have been advocating for more of these infrastructures to be in place. We have the nation's leaders coming up in this area. We have persons who, big and small, we have the different schools within the area. All of these things are of mind when we think of just traversing this entire street. We want to be mindful that, hey, these persons are constantly early in the morning, during the wee hours, in the nighttime, during after school. I think they go until 10:30 in the nighttime. All of this we have to take into consideration as road users.
And so, of course, as Officer Johnson indicated, students are throughout the day using this pedestrian crossing as a means to getting to and from classes. Of course, even though it's important to be mindful for those pedestrians, you also have a reminder for drivers as well. Increased signage among one of those changes in this area.
Yes, of course. As you can see, we have the fluorescent signs in the area, because I'm talking about, again, that wee hour time when people are traveling, like around this time. People are more inclined to use higher rates of speed. And using higher rates of speed when the road is clear, that's a norm for drivers in the Bahamas. So we have instances where persons are using the pedestrian crossings, and because of the high rate of speed you're traveling at, the braking distance, you're impaired with the braking distance. So as you can see, the street markings, they are in the street to basically alert drivers that, hey, you're coming to a point in the street where you need to slow down.
And also, when it relates to pedestrians, we know many times students getting to and from classes may be eating while walking, using their headphones, somehow distracted. And so any advice for students as they make their way to and across this median?
Like we spoke about yesterday, everybody has a duty of care. You owe yourself, you owe drivers, you owe pedestrians, all of you have a role to play in public and road safety. You have a goal that you should be, that, hey, I want to get from this location to the location I intend to go to safely, okay? So in that regard, as it pertains to crossing the streets, yes, drivers, there is a light here, there is pedestrian crossings and all those different stuff, but at the same time, pedestrians, yes, you are held responsible as well, because there is something called a careless pedestrian. Yes, if you're crossing the street and you have those headphones in your ears, you're crossing the street and you're eating, you're crossing the street and you're doing anything that takes your attention away from the street. Yes, just as the driver is distracted, you are a distracted pedestrian. You're not paying attention to the street. And all of these things add up to these different incidents and accidents that occur. So we're asking the general public to look out for that public and road safety. Everybody is responsible.
And as we prepare to wrap up as well, I'm not sure if you guys can see behind me, but there's also an area where buses can actually pull over. There's a bus stop right here behind me where some students as well use that. Great indication here by the Ministry of Works that allows those persons using the bus to get on safely, allowing the bus to pull over and allowing traffic to continue to flow. Additionally, I know this morning We started talking yesterday about the idea of increased safety on the islands. We're going to get into details hopefully later in the week. Yeah. But any advice for persons from the areas of Grand Bahama or even Abaco where authorities are really trying to increase signage?
Like I said before, when roads are clearer, when roads they have the wider roads, and you're not accustomed to that high volume of traffic, then that is usually a zone where you have increased speeds. So what we're advising persons in Grand Bahama, we usually associate Grand Bahama to drivers in the United States because the roads are wider and they don't have as much traffic as they do over here. But they travel on highways for the majority of their streets. So what we advise the members and the persons in Grand Bahama and now in Abaco to please slow down. Yes, the roads, you probably are accustomed to the roads being clearer, but at the same time, you have so many different things that come into play. You have your braking distance, you have if your tires have that friction and attraction to stop. We see now an increase in vehicles that are being overturned. So as it relates to all of these different things, all it comes back to is speed. We need to slow down.
Drivers, pedestrians, safety is key. As we wrap up, thank you so much. This has been a Wednesday Morning Report. LaDawn, back to you in studio.